The honest thing for me is the contrast in the amount of freedom you have for things that you would never think were important. Like these little nicotine things in California, you can't buy this because it's flavored. Mm-hmm. In California, you can put a tent in front of people's houses and fucking cook meth, and no one says anything. No one does anything. You could commit violent crime, and you get arrested and released with no bail. They never find you again. The laws are so ridiculous, but you are not allowed to have flavored nicotine. Flavored nicotine is dangerous, Chris.
They're trying to ban flavored vapes in the UK very aggressively, super aggressively. It's like, that's a big deal. That being said, I think it's like some non-insignificant percentage of school children are using vapes. Like,
it's very addictive.
There's a no vapes sign in schools. Like that wasn't something that was already self-evident.
Well, cigarettes were a big deal when I was in high school. You know, a lot of kids smoke cigarettes. It was a cool kids thing to do.
What's the smoking age in America?
I think it's 18.
Yep.
18?
Legally, yeah.
Legally? Yeah. It's 18. But when I was a kid, people got cigarettes. Someone got you cigarettes. I don't know. When I was young, I remember before I turned 18, they changed the legal drinking age. Because the legal drinking age, I believe, used to be 18. And then they bumped it up to 21. I was like, damn it.
Dude, have you ever seen the video of when DUIs came in the 1980s?
Yes.
And they're interviewing people in cars?
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite videos of all time. Please, Jamie, let me watch that video again.
Yeah, the lady's like, we're going to bring in communism.
Don't know what the world's coming to.
Man can't
and
work
she's got
all
her
day.
kid.
Yeah.
She's got a baby in the passenger seat.
No seatbelt.
Oh, my God.
And even if you did have a seatbelt, there's no airbags. Those things are death traps.
It's one of my favorite videos. There's this weird, something I've noticed since being in America, your guys' relationship with drink driving is a little bit more lax than it is in the UK. Yeah, the number
Not in Texas. If you have any alcohol in your system at all, they'll arrest you. Like if you get pulled over and they said, "Have you had anything to drink?" and you say, "Yes, I have had one drink," you're getting
Dude,
arrested.
I fucking love this video.
Strict drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic.
It's kind of getting common is when a fella can't put in a hard day's work, put in 11, 12 hours a day, and then get in your truck and at least drink 1 or 2 beers.
They're making laws.
Look at the baby.
Drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving. And
Yeah, she's wearing a seatbelt. It looks like the baby. The baby is more protected than I thought it was. It had that thing in front of it.
Yeah, yeah.
That little cushion in front of it. So it seemed like she was like a little bit more.
The funniest thing about that
See
is
that thing?
Their issue is it's not with not being allowed to drink then drive. Theirs is one worse. It's drink and drive.
Right.
You mean
At
I
the same
can't
time.
drink and yeah, exactly.
Constantly.
Dude, I love that video. Oh my God.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't drink and drive. That's true. But also, you don't really want people telling you what you can and can't do. And once they start doing it with anything, Bill, you gonna bring in communism? I see it's cartoonish. It's very cartoonish when they're saying that. It's very ridiculous. But kind of they have a point. This is the only point. If you let someone tell you what you can't do, they're going to expand that power of telling you what you can't do.
Yeah.
Always.
One of the problems is that puts...
Sobriety was somehow not fitting with the American way. What?
Measuring sobriety.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, during the 1950s, the American public and the judicial system were still erring on the side of the drunk driver. Oddly enough, some people were concerned with the mechanization of measuring sobriety was somehow not fitting with the American way. Kind of isn't. It kind of isn't, but also you shouldn't drink and drive. Like, both things are true. We should, like, teach people that you should never fucking do that. I went to high school with a kid, and he was a good guy. I knew him from the time I was, like, 14. And then when, I guess, a senior in high school, he was drunk, and he crashed his car and killed his friend. And I remember running into him on the street. We were both walking, and I walked by him, and he's had his head down. And, you know, I wasn't good friends with him, but I was friends with him. I always said hi to him. I said hi to him. I said, "Hey, man, how you doing?" He's like, he was done. He was done. His life was over, man. He wasn't, you know, a regular kid anymore. He was a kid who killed his friend in a drunk driving accident. It was a different human. Like, his life, he was this one guy, was like a normal guy, fun guy. People liked him. He was a friendly guy. And then all of a sudden, a pariah. All of a sudden, everyone knows what you did. All of a sudden, what you did, you can't believe you did. This horrible, horrible, horrible thing. And you did it when you were so young.
A kid.
He was 16, 17, whatever he was. He didn't know what he was doing. He had no idea. You're so stupid when you're that young. Your brain's not formed yet. And you can't treat them like they're adults. You just can't. They're not adults. You know, you're talking about a 16-year-old kid, a 15-year-old kid. Like, fuck. When they're doing things, they don't even know what's real. I mean, and it's all completely dependent upon how they were raised. Like, you could get really lucky and have solid parents and really have, like, a good understanding of how to behave in the world. Or you could get fucked and you got some dad who beats the shit out of you and he's always on meth and your mother's a fucking liar and she steals money and she sells people stuff. You know, that could be your reality too. And to expect a person like that to behave exactly the way you do with your nice life is crazy. It's crazy. And it's one of the weirder things that we do. And instead of looking at the origins of what are the origins of horrible behavior, it's all terrible childhoods. It's almost all terrible childhoods. Instead of looking at that, all we look at is a crime. It's very strange. It's a weird thing. It's like to know logically that you just have to take a few extra steps and you say, well, what's the root of this problem? And how do we address that? How do we make it better? We have so much money for other things. We don't have any money for that? That seems like one of the most fundamental problems any country would face is the amount of people that grow up that become violent criminals because they were fucked from the time they were young. They had no shot at life. Their whole childhood was just violence and chaos. And that's not an insignificant number of people in this country. And yet, any foreign conflict has to be addressed with the utmost urgency. When the things that are paramount to our daily existence right here, with what our tax dollars pay for right here, are just completely ignored. Completely ignored. Never discussed. They'll talk to you about climate change.